you said you had a savage drug problem in San Diego.
Yeah.
Or at least you said user. I don't know if you had a problem. I don't know if you consider it a problem, but it does sound like it led to a second nervous breakdown. So,
Yeah, it turned into a problem for sure.
right. So I was wondering if you don't mind, like what kind of drugs were you on at the time?
Lots of pot, some cocaine. I got hooked on meth, and I had a meth habit of like once a month I'd buy $50 worth of meth, smoke all of it over a couple days, and really get fucked up, and then quit, and then wait a month and do it all over again. That's how my habit worked with meth. And then I did Jimson weed and acid and shrooms and all kinds of stuff.
You're just like testing out everything. So,
Yeah, I've never done heroin, but I've done a lot of things.
well, when you were during this period, were you taking your medication as well for your issues, for your mental issues, or
No, I was off of medication and not medicated until I had the breakdown, and then they put me on risperidone, which was an antipsychotic.
so you were probably that whole period, in retrospect, probably you're self-medicating basically. You probably had some issues that were bothering you, I would imagine, and you were taking a lot of drugs, just trying to get your mind somewhere else. And
Well, me and all of my friends too. It had it was, I'm sure, definitely self-medicating, but it also
you
was
like to party,
rock and roll, you know.
yeah. So were were you addicted to any of these? Because you mentioned meth. I know that's highly addictive.
I was
Uh,
addicted to meth, yeah.
so you had to like get off. You had to kick that somehow.
Yeah, when I moved to Oregon, I got into the NA and AA, and I ended up getting 6 years clean in Oregon.
Do you think those organizations helped?
They definitely did. I doubt I could have done it otherwise.
Okay. And now I know at one time you were working in an adult bookstore. I think you had told me about one time. What
Yeah,
age was this? Was this
that
around the
was
same time?
yeah, like 2004 to 2006 or 2007, and that was
2000.
my punk rock years, and that's where I got hooked on meth, was in the porn industry actually.
Okay, so that was going on around all that time. Um, exactly. So I know you did work in the porn industry. Exactly what was your role in that industry?
I was a retailer, I was a cashier and a salesman, and I would lock myself into a cage, and people would ask me questions. I'd try and help them out. I was pretty rude and just always intoxicated, and but a lot of people liked it that way, you know. They So many people were just embarrassed to be there at all, and so they they didn't mind if I was rude to them or anything.
Anything crazy happen on that job?
Yeah, we there was a sex doll rapist on the loose at one point who would grab like 150 $200 sex doll and take it into the arcade and rape it and just leave it there. And my company lost a lot of money because of that. Nobody ever stole on my shift. Like there was no theft on my shift, but on other people's shifts it would happen. And I heard the story of we had this dildo called Rambone that was probably like this big. It was just gigantic. And one day somebody shoplifted one and took it into the arcade. and the janitor found it, and it was just like covered in shit and blood.
Oh
The
my
guy
God.
crammed it. The guy stole it, crammed it up his ass, and then left it in the arcade.
Damn. So I was going to ask you, did they have? I get you say arcade, so I guess those are basically like beat off rooms, right?
Yeah.
So, but you didn't have to clean or anything. It didn't sound like you had to deal with any of that kind of crap, because that always sounds like the worst. Janitor at an adult bookstore sounds like the worst job
Yeah, the
of all time.
janitor was the one who got me hooked on meth, and
Like,
because I tried snorting it, and it made me feel gross, and I didn't like it. Said I'm never doing that again. And then he said, "Oh, you got to try smoking it." And once I took my first hit, I was hooked right off the bat. And another story is one time I took a handful of magic mushrooms before I went to work, and I was just in there tripping balls, and a clown walks out of the arcade, and I just started laughing. I was like, "What are you doing here, clown? You don't belong here!" And just had like the probably the biggest laugh of my life. But it turned out the guy was a transvestite and just had makeup smeared all over his face and was wearing like a colorful dress and would hang out in the arcade. But like, and all the other cashiers were mean to this guy, but I became friends with him because he gave me such a good laugh. Like, I just laughed so hard that night. I liked him from that point on. And then he would buy me he would give me gift cards and stuff, and he would give me drugs and stuff, and he would tell me, "Hey, if any black guys come in here, send them into my booth." And I'd say, "All right, man, no problem, I can do that." But he was like an engineer who worked for the city and had an awesome career and a wife and kids, got hooked on meth, and then turned into a transvestite who liked to get fucked by black guys, basically.